Hi, welcome to the Britannia T190. So today we're going to be showing you how you can make a buttonhole with this machine. You have quite a few buttonhole options up here, from 33 all the way up to 41. Today we're going to be going with the standard, which is 33. And to select your buttonhole stitch, what you're going to do is use the, I'll get my machine to focus for me, use the folder which is down here, your straight stitch zigzag folder. So you're going to tick that, and then you're going to scroll through, and you can go backwards rather than all the way through. So if you go backwards instead, we're going to go back to 33, and then we're just going to press the button underneath 33, and we've now got our buttonhole stitch selected. It's telling us we need to change the foot. So the foot for your buttonhole is this one here. People tend to get a bit intimidated because it's a bigger foot, but honestly you really don't need to. It's absolutely fine. The thing to bear in mind is when you're putting the foot on your machine, the red marks here at the front indicate the front. That's where your needle goes through, and the bit at the back here, it can be closed or you can open it up, is where your button goes. So this machine's clever enough to show you a buttonhole the size of your button. And if I can just pick the button up, there we go, off the table, that's always handy. You put your button inside there, and then you just clamp down onto it. So the button goes in there. A lot of people try and put it down here and things like that, but it goes in this section just there, and it will now show you a buttonhole that's exactly the right size for your button. The next thing you're going to do is attach it to your machine, so you'll need to take off your regular foot. So I'll just change over the camera so you can see it that bit better. Lovely. So I'm going to take off the foot by pressing the black button at the back, so the foot drops off the ankle, and then I'm going to take my buttonhole foot and I'm going to bring it in underneath the ankle. So the little claw on the bottom of the ankle comes down and just catches onto the bar on the buttonhole foot. And that's how easy it is to put your new buttonhole foot on. You just slowly drop the ankle down onto the foot and it catches it. Yep. Your thread, don't worry too much about at the moment. You're just going to hold that out to the side. There's another important thing to do with your buttonhole foot, which is to find the little bit of metal here that slides down. And this is going to help your machine stop when it reaches the right length for your buttonhole. So you're going to pull that all the way down so that this bit bumps into it. So make sure it's pushed all the way down as far as it will go, like that. There we go. So the next thing we're going to do is take our piece of fabric and draw ourselves on a target for our buttonhole. So it's like an upside down T shape. Then this is going to go in underneath the buttonhole foot, and you line up the bottom of the T with the red markings on the foot. So I'll zoom in a bit so you can see that a bit clearer. Lovely. So I'm just going to run my target for my buttonhole. You start to see the red come through the foot, the red line come through the foot, and so you line that up until the horizontal line matches up with the two red markings on your foot on either side, and the vertical line matches up with this mark here. And then you're going to lower your foot down like that, and you can see when you look through the window, it's really difficult to get the right angle with a phone to record, but you look right through here to be able to see the target. Then you're going to hold your thread loosely out to the side. You don't want to really pull on it. I've seen people bend and break their needle by pulling too hard on the thread. You just need to keep it out of the way as it starts to sew. So just to recap, you've put your buttonhole foot on, you've selected a buttonhole stitch on your machine, you've pulled down the guide for the buttonhole stitch, and you've set your target buttonhole up on your fabric underneath the foot. Then you're going to put your foot down on the pedal and it's going to sew you a buttonhole. And I like to reduce the speed a little bit just so I can keep an eye on what's going on. So you can see the target start to appear down here, and I'm just lightly pulling the thread out to the left to stop it getting caught up. Now once you've done your first buttonhole, the thread is pushed down underneath the foot and you don't have to worry about it quite so much. But for neatness, it's just nice to keep the thread out of the way. So it goes up one side, comes back down with a zigzag, then it goes up the other side, does the kind of butt stitch at the end, comes back down, and then does another kind of bar tack along the bottom. And then the machine will stop when it's ready. So my foot's still on the presser, the foot pedal, but the machine has now stopped, and it makes a little beeping sound to tell you it's finished. So I'm going to take my foot off the foot pedal. There we go. You can use your thread trimmer to trim the threads, and then you can take out your buttonhole. There we go. So we can trim off any remaining threads, but that's a lovely, nice, neat buttonhole. And as I say, the machine comes with a few different types if you're sewing thicker fabrics and that kind of thing. Just get that. That was my bobbin thread that it started with. There we go. So to open the buttonhole, I'll show you how to do that as well. So you're going to need a pin. You take your pin and you pop it through the buttonhole just before the bar tack at the end. This is like a stopping point. Then you're going to take a seam ripper and you're going to very carefully pop it inside the 2 lines of stitching, and then again carefully you're going to seam rip up the inside to open the buttonhole. Now it's easy to veer off left or right and to tear some of your stitches, so try not to do that. And the reason we put the pin at the end is a stopper. Stops you going all the way through. I guarantee you one day at home you're going to think, I'm a pro at this now, I don't need the pin anymore, and you're going to open your buttonhole and you're going to go right through the end of it. And buttonholes are normally the last thing that you put on your project, whether it's a dress or a blouse or a shirt, and you'll have spent ages making something and you'll just ruin it by going right through a buttonhole. So always use a pin. There we go. So you can trim any dangling threads off if you don't like them. You can dob a little bit of fray check on there if you want, just to neaten it up. But that is your buttonhole on your Britannia T190. There we go. Thanks. Bye.